Jesus asked the question, who do you say that I am? Seems like a legitimate question. What if Jesus were standing here today and said, who do you say that I am? How do we answer that? It seems easy, and it seems really, really soul-searching. Who do you say that I am? At first we can say, Jesus, I love Jesus, I'm a Christian, I go to this or that church. But what does it mean to say who he is 24/7 in our lives? In our finances, in our relationships, in our social life, in our vocation? Who do you say that I am? Jesus really pushes us to trust in following him as a relationship with our whole life, with every part of who we are. There's a folk proverb that's pretty graphic, but it's true to life. The difference between involvement and commitment is like an egg and ham breakfast. The chicken was involved, the pig was committed. Jesus is asking if we're committed. He's asking those disciples, are you committed? And it's not about getting the right answer or having the right kind of faith. It's about a relationship. Think about relationships in your own life. If you were half committed, it probably didn't really go that well. You're probably no longer friends with those people. You probably fell by the wayside. But commitment takes work. It takes vulnerability. It takes being true to ourselves and accepting the other person. Jesus says, who do you say that I am? Jesus is looking at the relationship. A relationship founded, blessed, carried on, lived out through love and grace. Not what's in it for me, but love and grace. He seems to be asking his disciples, are you followers or consumers? Now work with me on this. What's the definition of a consumer? A person who purchases goods and services for personal use, and it's my emphasis, personal use. We're all consumers. We pay for services. We pay for water, electricity, childcare, medical services. We pay for these services, and that is how our world functions. Even before we had money, we bartered for services. We are consumers. The problem becomes when we're not living to consume, we're not consuming to live, but living to consume. We get into trouble. Walter Brueggemann calls us all consumerist. I say consumerist because we live in a culture that believes that the whole world and all its resources are available to us without regard to the neighbor, that assumes more is better, and that if you want it, you need it. Thus, there's now an advertisement that says, it's not something you don't need, it's just something you haven't thought of yet. One early philosopher said, consumption is a system of meaning. We start to assign meaning to one another and what they can provide. The problem becomes when we make faith into something we consume. We're so used to, what do I get? I shop at this place because I get the best value. I shop at this place because I get fuel saving dollars. I shop at this place because of their moral and ethics. What do I get out of it? And then we turn that to faith sometimes. Then faith becomes something we consume for personal, and once again the emphasis on personal use. So I am going to believe in God, so I never have any hardships because God will take that away. Or I'm going to believe in God for self-fulfillment and don't ever challenge me. Or I want a faith that matches all my views on politics, morality, and I'm going to judge anyone that doesn't believe that way. Or we want a faith that gives us that magic ticket, that gets us into heaven someday. Jesus is challenging the hearer to say, faith is not something you consume. It's always, always a relationship. And all of you have been in relationships. It is hard work. It takes something to be in a relationship, to trust another fully. And all of us have been disappointed in relationships because all of us are human. So when Jesus says, trust me and follow me, that scares most of us. I don't know about you, but I like to be in charge or think I'm in charge. And I like to think that my way is probably the best way, so why wouldn't people just do that? And here's Jesus saying, follow me. It's the ultimate act of faith to say, okay, I will trust you with all aspects of my life. to say yes to that. When Peter says, you are the Messiah, it's the first time in any of the scriptures a human voice says, he is the one. We hear it from God in a couple of the Gospels. This is my beloved with whom I'm well pleased. But it's the first time we hear a human voice. But notice what Jesus asks, who do you say that I am? He doesn't say, here's a doctrine you better believe. He doesn't say, here's a statement of faith, and I'm not anti-statement of faith, but Jesus doesn't give it to the disciples. He says, who do you say that I am? It is so relational. Who am I in your life, and what does that mean in your daily life? Jesus went on in his life to say the kingdom of God has come near and is continuing to come near. And he showed that in relationship by healing people, by casting out things that were just jeopardizing their life, by bringing people back into community that were literally and figuratively at the fringes of society. He sat down at a table with people. Over and over again, Jesus showed what God looks like through relationships, daily relationships, through the good and the bad of life. George Hubert said, the resolved mind hath no cares. Jesus is asking us to be that free to follow. Imagine a football coach saying, okay team, we have a big game tonight. If you could come out and be half committed, that would just be awesome. Or a symphony director saying, if you could just be like half committed, we'll pull off this concert. If you watch someone who plays a sport and loves it, if you watch someone who plays a musical instrument, a singer, an artist, it's pure joy because they are committed to what they're about. It isn't they have to or they need to. That doesn't mean there's not hard practices, there's not calloused fingers, there's not times where they think, is it worth it? But they are committed and they are single-minded in that commitment. Many of you know the name Warwick Dunn. He played for the NFL for 12 years. He played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons as a running back. Even while he was a rookie, he started a foundation. It was called Homes for the Holidays. He helped single parents secure affordable housing. He would help at whatever level they needed, whether it was to pay the down payment or to help with the mortgages. Over 150 people have housing, single parents, because he was willing to help. His backstory is he was being raised by a single mom who was a police officer in New Orleans. When he was a senior, she was shot and killed in the line of duty. He went on to raise his siblings with a little help from one of his grandmothers, all through the rest of his senior year, all through college, and even after he started playing for the NFL. He said it shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be that hard when a tragedy hits. It shouldn't be that hard for a family to live holy. So he set up this foundation. Now, nobody really knew about it except those he had helped till a couple years ago, and some reporter uncovered it. He was pretty disappointed. Kind of lost his purity when people like me held him up as examples. Jesus says, follow me. And he says, deny yourself and take up your cross and follow me. Now, all of us know the abuse that has been done with that phrase, where we've sent abused wives home to their husbands saying, that's your cross to bear. But Jesus says, take up your cross. What that requires is us to drop some things. I remember one time when my oldest was 4 and the brother next to him was 2. And Simon wanted something Ellis had. So Ellis grabbed every toy there was and held him in his arms and went and hid in the closet so Simon couldn't play with him. What did that do to Ellis? Just filled up his arms, right? He didn't get to enjoy the toy. It just helped him deny Simon from having it. When Jesus says take up your cross, that means we're going to have to drop some things. But what we're asked to drop is the need for everyone to like us. What we drop is the fear of failure. What we drop is thinking our successes define who we are in the eyes of the world and the eyes of God. What we drop is self-deprecation and shame. What we leave behind, we start to think is who we are, and we're scared to let it go. And Jesus says, let it go and follow me. Will it be hard? Probably. We have days that we think it isn't worth it, of course. Or there'll be times that people won't like you for what you do, most likely. And will you feel free and liberated for following? Most definitely. Megan McKinnon has said about this summons to discipleship in the Gospel of Mark. It calls us to sink further and further into the water waters of our baptisms, which are mysterious, fearful, and wondrously filled with grace. Jesus says, who do you say that I am? Let go of those things and follow me. Amen. I'd like to close with a benediction. We follow a wounded healer who transforms our brokenness into wholeness and gives us the power to embody healing. So take up our cross and follow Christ into the world. Be love's healing balm of love, Christ risen healers. The spirit of love